G'day guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I'll be predicting every single team's best and fairest from Adelaide to Bulldogs, for the 2024 AFL season. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. So obviously starting off with Adelaide, in my opinion, it's pretty much only down to one or two players who could really win it, and I'm going to give it to Jordan Dawson. Now, I believe he did win it this year, in last year in 2023, and he may have even won it in 2022. But yeah, he's had a fantastic couple seasons at Adelaide, and new captain last year. You'd expect him to back it up this year, and I feel like he's a pretty easy prediction for mine for Adelaide's best and fairest. The only other couple players I really see getting it is maybe Tex Walker, maybe Rory Laird if he can get back to his best. Even Darcy Fogarty could even do it, perhaps. But yeah, very, very unlikely. But I do see him having a really impressive season though for Adelaide. But that's really it for them. Jordan Dawson, he's definitely their standout player. Let's move it right along to Brisbane. I'm actually going to give it to Josh Dunkley. He's never won the award for Brisbane. He did win the award, however, for the Western Bulldogs in 2022. He had a pretty good year last year. He didn't do anything amazing, really, for Brisbane. I think he had a really good game. I think it was against Carlton in round 8 or something, as his best so far in the Brisbane jumper. But yeah, I reckon he'll have a pretty good year and win Brisbane's best and fairest. The only real players that I can really see as well challenging him is maybe Hugh McCluggage, who's predicted to have a big year. Lockie Neal, obviously Brownlow medalist. Harris Andrews, the co-captain with Lockie Neal. Charlie Cameron, perhaps. And I'm going to throw in another smoky, Kadeen Coleman. He could even win it. So they've actually got quite a number of options, actually, Brisbane, who could win it. We'll move right along to Carlton. And for me, it has to be Sam Walsh. In my opinion, he's going to have a breakout year. He was ridiculously good last year in the final series, won best finals player. Had a bit of an interrupted season, though, but still managed to finish maybe like ninth in their best and fairest, even though he missed like 5-6 games. That's still pretty good for a guy that missed that many games. If he can play every single game, I think he should probably win it. Patrick Cripps is another one, obviously, the skipper. Jacob Wiedering could win it. Charlie Curnow as well. You know, he kicks that many goals that he could easily win the award. But yeah, that's really it, I reckon, for Carlton. Now, Collingwood, I'm going to be basic here. Pretty generic. I think everyone knows who's going to win it. Nick Dacos. Didn't win it last year. Josh absolutely robbed it, really, from him. But he should win it this year. If he stays fit, he should have another really good year. Should back up his 2023 well. And, he should definitely win the award this year for Collingwood. Again, I don't really see too many other players challenging him. Like Isaac Quainer will definitely be a chance to win the best and fairest for us. Darcy Moore, obviously the skipper, he could win it. Tom Mitchell, maybe. Maynard. Jamie Elliott, if he can kick enough goals, maybe he could win it. But yeah, don't really see any other player winning it. Maybe Crisp. Or DeGoey. I forgot about DeGoey. Maybe even a couple others. Side bottom is probably finished now, you'd think. But anyways, we'll move on. Essendon, I'm going to go Darcy Parish. Bit of a bold prediction. Zach Merritt's won it the last few years, I think. So, kind of breaking the pattern there. I'm going to go Darcy Parish. And apart from him and Merritt, I don't really see anyone else pushing those two to win the medal. So, those two are definitely Essendon's best players by a fair bit. Fremantle, again, fairly easy. There's not too many players who I think will win it. But my prediction is actually going to go to Caleb Sarong. Hayden Young could win it. Brayshaw could win it. But apart from that, probably should just be Sarong. In my opinion, Sarong's going to have a fantastic year. Perhaps, definitely a Brownlow smoky for me. Geelong's an interesting one. I've debated this one, but I'm actually going to give it to Tom Stewart. Ended up going a bit generic. I wanted to go Cam Guthrie, but he only played 5 games last year, and that's just a huge risk tipping him. But then again, who's really counting, and who really cares if I get this prediction right or wrong? But Tom Stewart, if he plays every single game, he should win it. There's even talks about him playing midfield this year, which is crazy, really. He's always been a really good defender, but Geelong, they kind of do need another midfielder, so you can kind of see why they're thinking about that. But yeah, him, Guthrie, yeah, that's really it. Everyone's either way too old or way too young at Geelong to win anything apart from those two, really. Now, moving on to Gold Coast. This one as well was very, very, very difficult. But I'm actually going to go with my first combined prediction. Now, I've thrown a couple of these in for fun. And yeah, I'm actually going to go combined prediction because there was just too many good Suns players for me to only pick one of them. I'm actually going to go Sam Flanders. And the other one is Matt Rao. I personally think those two will probably take out the best and fairest for Gold Coast. Um, Obviously, Noah Anderson was their best and fairest last year, I think, by a fair bit. So he'll be up there again, you would think. Took Miller's another one. Jared Witts. Even Ben King if he can kick enough goals. But yeah, Matt Rao, Sam Flanders, they're going to have huge years in the midfield for Gold Coast. And yeah, the next one I really, really rate. He's probably at this stage perhaps my Brownlow prediction, which is why I'm going to go with him by a country mile here from GWS Giants. It's Tom Green. Tom Green, what a player he's going to be for GWS, and what a year I predicted him to have. He should dominate, really. I do not see anyone else winning it. I mean, sure, they've got good players who could win it, but if Tom Green plays every single game, he should win the medal. Canelio could win it, but yeah, then again, he's getting a bit old. Who else they got? Briggs, maybe. It'd be a huge smoky if he wins it. Whitfield could win it. Toby Green obviously could win it. But yeah, Tom Green, yeah, he's going to be fantastic this year. Now, Hawthorn, this is my other bold prediction for the Brownlow. And it's Jai Newcomb. Jai Newcomb and Tom Green. I'm still trying to debate who to tip to win the Brownlow. But Jai Newcomb, he's going to have a great year. Might be a bit early to jump on the boat for him to win the Brownlow. But still, Hawks best and fairest he should easily take out. Will Day could win it. I believe he won it last year. Sicily could win it. He just didn't play enough games last year, Sicily, to win it. But yeah, you'd probably think if he plays enough games, he'd be right up there. And yeah, even Luke Bruce, maybe not Luke Bruce. Dylan Moore's another one who could win it. I doubt Chol's going to win it. Mitch Lewis could win it. Yeah, I reckon that's probably it for Hawthorn. Moving on to Melbourne, I've actually gone with a double again for Melbourne. I've gone with Christian Petrarca, who I believe won it last year, or maybe it was Viney, I don't know. And Max Gawn, Petrarca and Gawn. They're going to have pretty good years. They're going to be back to their best, back to their 2021, premiership winning best. These two are going to carry Melbourne this year and definitely be their best players. Now, Clary Oliver, you just can't tip him to win anything, can you? With the way he's been acting about at the moment, his behaviour and all that. So I'm just clearly not going to predict him to win. But obviously, if he's playing every game, you'd think that he'd be right up there with Viney as well. And yeah, we'll move right along to North Melbourne. Now, I've actually thinking about it, and I actually will go with a double here as well. And in my opinion, there's only really 3 players who could win it because, in my opinion, they only have 3 really good players. Sorry, North Melbourne, but it's Nick Larkey, LDU, and Sheasel. Now, Nick Larkey's got to kick a lot of goals to win it, so I actually reckon I'm going to give it to Sheasel and LDU. Sheasel and LDU. They're going to tie. I think Sheasel won it last year. They're going to draw neck and neck and both win the best and fairest. Now, Now, I know it's not too often that two players win the best and fairest, but I've gone with a few here, haven't I? So, yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd make the video a little bit more interesting, but yeah, moving on to Port Adelaide. Yeah, I feel like there's only 3 or 4 players who really could, win it. Because let's be real, if one of those 3 or 4 players doesn't win it, then something bad's gone wrong. Connor Rosie, Zach Butters, Jason Horn-Francis, in my opinion, has to be included in this, and Dan Houston. Those 4 players, maybe not Horn-Francis, but Houston, Rosie, and Butters were ridiculously good last year. They were probably the 3 players that stayed consistent for the whole year, or at least when Port Adelaide were really, really good. But I'm going to go Zach Butters. He's probably the best out of the 3, or the one that I rate the highest out of the 3, so that's why I'm going with Butters. But then again, Rosie, he's the captain now of the club, and, Houston as well. They're all fantastic players, and all going to have fantastic years, in my opinion. Next up, Richmond. This is a simple one. Tim Taranto. If anyone else wins it from him, I'll be shocked. Tim Taranto flogged every Richmond player, I believe, in the Brownlow, not the Brownlow, the best and fairest this year. So he should take out the Richmond best and fairest yet again. Yeah, I'm actually going to struggle to name someone who could actually pinch it from him. Maybe Jacob Hopper, fellow GWS teammate or former GWS teammate with him. Is probably the only one I can really see winning it. Maybe Dusty. I doubt it, though. He's got to be unreal to pinch it from Taranto. Taranto's going to win it, let's be real. Unless he gets, injured or something. Moving on to St Kilda. This one's a bit of a difficult one. There's a few really good options in there. Brad Crouch, he didn't win it last year, but he was up there. Jack Sinclair, I believe, won it last year. He's a really good player as well. If Max King can kick enough goals, he has to be mentioned for the best and fairest. Jack Steele, if he can get back to his best, he could perhaps win it. But I think I'm going to go simple. This one's probably been the hardest one so far, I want to say. I'm just going to go simple. I'm not going to do any bold prediction here. And I'm going to go Jack Sinclair. Jack Sinclair should really win it, shouldn't he? I haven't really gone with a huge smoky to win it, apart from maybe Flanders to win a best and fairest here. I've gone pretty simple, but they're generic. They're my proper predictions here. Sinclair should win it. Now, moving on to Sydney. Again, there's probably only one man who can really win it, and that's Errol Goulden. This kid, he's probably going to win heaps of Brownlows. The only other player, actually now thinking of it, that I can really see pinching it from him is Chad Warner, but he had a disappointing year last year, so it's probably a bit bold to tip him to win a medal of a club this big. Brodie Grundy, you never know. He could get back to his best. He could perhaps, be up there. He should be up there. But Errol Goulden should win it. Now, for West Coast, perhaps this one is a bit of more of a bold call. It's a bit harder to do a team like West Coast when they only have 4 really good players in their prime, and Tim Kelly, Allen, Duggan, and Sheed. And Sheed's just too injury prone. Same with Elliot Yeo. But if they played every single game, it'd probably be one of those 2. But I'm actually going to go with Liam Duggan. He's new co-captain now with Oscar Allen. Liam Duggan is going to win the award for West Coast. Yeah. Now, I'm going to finish off with the simple one, the easiest one, I feel. Western Bulldogs. There's only one man that can really win it, is there? Marcus Bontempelli. He has to win it. If he doesn't win the best and fairest this year, then something's wrong, because he's in his prime. He's ridiculous. He's going to be up there again for the Brownlow. And yeah, he should take it by far. I don't really see any other Bulldogs player challenging. I was about to say Bailey Smith, but yeah, I've just forgotten. He's done an ACL, so that's out of the equation. Treloar's apparently having a good preseason in the midfield, so perhaps he could, finish up there. Jack McRae maybe could get back to his, best. Caleb Daniel, probably a little bit absurd if I went with him, is it? Aaron Norton, maybe. Hugo Hagen. they've got a good few young players that could win it, but nah, it's always going to be the Bond. Has to be the Bond. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a last minute video. I wasn't really planning on doing it, but yeah, I thought I probably deserve to get some more content out to you guys. It's been a pretty lackluster start to the year, hasn't it, in terms of AFL content, but it's going to ramp up, and I'm quite excited for the start of the AFL season. And well, I mean, the preseason matches start very, very soon, but yeah, AFL matches coming around, more videos. Stay tuned, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.